Okay, so this is the SGaP Scratch game jam, and I'm about to start with my project. It's 13:33 on the clock, so I guess I'll just send a message and start a timer. I have started a timer on my phone, so you can't see it, but I have started it. My idea for my game is something to do with RDRA, where Rainbow and Rarity are like looking for each other or something, and you have to connect them through like a very long distance. So like maybe some space stuff or something. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to feel like they are very far apart, but they can feel each other and they'll just find each other or something like that. I haven't really planned anything out much, but that's how much I have planned out. Also, RDRA has a MIDI, which I am going to try slapping like an NES sound font on or something, so I can like have it as like video game music or something like that. So I'm going to start now, I guess. So I wanted to see what the audio capabilities of Scratch are, so I did a bit of testing. So as it turns out, if you only have one sound, you can only play one copy of it at once. So you can't have multiple of the same sound playing. However, you can still have multiple sounds if they are different sounds. They must just not be the same sound. So that's good. Also, you can't set the volume or pitch of individual sounds. You can only change like the global values. So that means I can't like do dynamic stuff unless I create multiple audio files with different like volume levels. So if you listen to this, you can hear that like this affects this. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but I think I'll be able to still make something with it. So this is the MIDI I'm going to use for the soundtrack of the game. It's by Old as They Are, and I guess I'm just putting this part in to give credits. I slapped a NES sound font on it. I think I'll have to tweak it, but here's how it sounds without any like configuration done or anything. Now, one of the things that kind of disturbs me is that there are like multiple notes here playing like this at the same time, and I don't think that sounds very NES-y. So I'll have to decide whether to rearrange this part or just make it sound inaccurate, so it doesn't sound like the real NES. What I thought I would do here is I would use this part here as like an indicator of how close they are to each other. So it could be playing like this, and then you'd start getting closer and it's gonna sound like more like this. And I can use the same concept over here. So it's an hour in, and I've tried lots of different things for the title song, or title music, I guess. And I tried like making it kinda orchestral, and I tried adding all sorts of like reverb and different sound fonts and stuff, but I thought it sounded too like non 8-bitty, I guess, if that makes any sense. I really don't like how repetitive and harsh it sounds right now, but I think this is what I'll be going with. So I did find out something about Scratch, which is that the volume and pitch effects and panning and stuff, it is all tied to the sprite. So if I, for example, play this here, and I play this is going to sound normal, and I can have like high-pitched stuff here, but this will still sound normal, which I think is pretty cool. It means I can create more unique stuff this way. So here you can hear an example of what I'm going for in terms of those effects and things. So this one here is this sound. And then on here I have this sound. And when I press space, they're going to play together. So I'm imagining like you're flying through space and you have to locate this sound, so I can use these to like help you locate it. I think it's a pretty cool effect. So I think the plan is to like have a really big like galaxy or space or something with lots of like planets or stars or whatever, and there are so many of them that it would be very, very hard to find the correct one. But thanks to the audio you can listen to it and pinpoint where you have to go. So I think this sounds really awesome actually. So here I have a better example of the audio system. I was looking at other projects for inspiration, and I came across this thing, and this is like a 3D ball, and how it works is it has like different sprites for every like rotation and stuff. So I was thinking maybe I could get something similar for like the planets I have, because like having 3D spheres would look so sick. So I remembered that like a couple of years ago I had made this project. Well, it was just a simple test, not like a big project or anything, but I was thinking maybe I could find it again and use it for this, and also create like different planets, so there's not just one but there's like lots of different ones, and you have to find the right one and stuff like that. So I was thinking of using this image for the globe, but if you look at this here, you can see that it is not seamless at all. So I tried to go over it with the healing tool and some other stuff, and this is what I have right now. I mean, it does not look very good, but I think if it's like just a small planet, it will look completely fine. Like compared to this, like I think this just looks very, from a distance it looks really pretty nice, like if you look at it like this, but if you get close up you can see how bad it is, but I think this will be fine. And just to show the difference here, this is what it looks like right now, and when I replace the map here, boom, it looks so much nicer. when it's just a globe. There is one limitation with this approach, which is that I can animate it this way just fine, but if I wanna move it up and down like that, I can't really do that. So that must mean that when I'm flying around in the game, I can either only rotate on one axis, or I have to make it so if I rotate on two axes, the planets will always be facing you like this. You can't like look at them from the bottom, it will always be like this. So I don't know, we'll see. Another possible solution to this would be to have sprites for like different angles this way as well, but that would just take up a lot of sprites. So I might do this for... what I might do is I might just create like 3 or 4 planets that have like all the rotations, and then just use like color effects and stuff to create more planets. That way I will not have the problem of having too many sprites, because I only have a few planets, and it should be okay, but I'm not sure. Oh, we'll see. So here I have a test of the rotation. So as you can see, it is really smooth, I think. I'm quite happy with how smooth it is. So anyways, I made this thing to make 100 clones of this to see what the performance is like if we have lots of them. And as you can see, even if we have lots of clones, the performance is still very good, which is very, very important, because yeah, I want to have more than like a few planets in total, and I really don't want it to lag, especially on older computers, because my computer is pretty fast, but I want people with slower computers to also be able to play it. And the way I am planning on creating more planets is, as I said, using the color effect. So I can just do this and see it's like a completely different planet. And I'm gonna have a few more textures, so it's not just gonna be a Equestria, but I'm gonna have like something that looks like Mars, for example, or stuff like that. And then I can have lots of different planets. Like, look how different this looks. This looks nothing like the original. Like, from a distance you can't even tell that it's the same texture. But yeah, I think this looks really cool. So I'm just gonna add a few more textures, and then we can have 3D planets. So for the other planets, I tried to make my own texture at first, and I think if I would have worked on it, I could have actually gotten it to look good. But then I discovered this website that lets you use textures of planets and stuff under the CC 4.0 license, which means that I'm allowed to use them as long as I give them credit. So, and I think they look a lot better. So yeah, it's going to be very easy for me to create the Mars and Neptune, because of just how easy it was to get those files and set them up. Something I forgot to mention earlier is that I downscaled the planets to 128 by 128, because the scratch area is 480 by 360. So this resolution is pretty good in terms of like quality versus performance, because if I make it too big, the project is going to be huge in file size, and it's probably going to have bad performance. And if I make it smaller, then the planets look really blurry and pixelated. But I think this is a good size for it. So I thought I'd make a quick update. I'm 7 hours in, and this is what I have. It's a 3D space where I can move in and look around, and I have full 3D rotation on the globe. Now there are like 2 things I need to fix. One of them is that the calculation of the size of the globe is, I think, it's kind of broken. So you can see that if I do this, it gets way too big on the edges. It still works, but I think it's just kinda ugly if it's like this, because it looks like you have a really high FOV or something. And the other thing is that if I fly up and down, you can see that I don't have up and down graphics here, and that is because let's see, here we go. That is because I have not gotten the code for it to work yet. It's kinda complicated and I'm not sure how to do it exactly, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, for now I just disabled it, and to show that it is indeed a 3D space, I'm going to spawn like 500 other globes, and I should have actually turned off the thing that shows the like speech bubbles, but whatever. You can see that I can move from one to the other. So yeah, this is like a full 3D space. It's really cool. Here we go. Here's a globe. And I can move around it. Another thing that I'm probably not going to fix is the layer order. So I think you might have seen it if I find a good... Yeah, you can see like over here there's like another planet visible, even though this planet is in the front, and I don't think I'm going to bother fixing that, but that is a bug I have. So yeah, so at this point I'm 10 hours into the development, and this is what I've made so far. You can fly freely, up and down as well. I didn't have up and down movement before, but I decided to add it because it felt more natural than having separate keys for like up and down flying. And a thing you might notice is that I've been flying for quite a while now, and the planets are not running out. So what I did was I made this infinitely looping, so you can't accidentally fly out of bounds, but it also feels natural. I want this to feel like an emptiness of space, like you're looking for a planet in a vast sea of lots of planets. You have to find the correct one. Now you might have already noticed it, but if you listen closely you can hear the tune playing. So you can use the volume and stereo audio to locate the planet the sound is coming from. There we go. And this is the planet where you have to go to, I guess, win the game. I really want to add another part here, but I don't know if I'll have enough time tomorrow. One more thing is I have to test it on a different computer tomorrow, if I can find one to test it with, because this is like really demanding CPU wise, and it's kinda stuttery even on my computer. So I want to make sure that it is at least somewhat playable on like medium computers. Also, the movement speed is decoupled from the frame rate, which means if the game gets really laggy, the movement speed will still be same. So this is, I just woke up. It's, I don't know what time it is. I think it's, let's see, it's like 9 AM, and so this is my old laptop with a pretty weak CPU, and I just wanted to see how well it runs here. So let's see. Yeah, you can see that I did some testing earlier because it's easier to test with 2 hands, but I don't know if you can tell, but the performance is quite okay. It's a bit sluggish, but I think it's completely playable. So I'm good with that. Now, if you do get to the planet, yeah, for some reason the planet is like super laggy. Like, it was super laggy on my main computer, but on here it's like extra laggy. You can see how slow it is to turn around. I mean, it's still playable, but I don't like that it is so laggy. I think it's because of the volume thing, but I'm not sure. The issue with the lag here, I kinda fixed it. So what I did was I just took this code here and put it in a separate thread or a separate loop, and you can see it's way smoother now, but the audio still works fine. This space part otherwise is almost done. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the camera a tiny bit slower, so it feels more like a challenge flying through here. And I'm also going to make the sound quieter, or actually, like, I'm not going to make the sound quieter, but I'm gonna change the distance you can hear it from. So it's a bit more hard, but I think it will make the game more fun, because you have to actually spend some time searching for the globe, not just like go there instantly. I was thinking of making some parts with Dialog, and I needed text for that, and I really wanted it to be Bodoni empty. So what I did was I created this After Effects project that just goes through all the letters. Then I can export this as like separate images, and they're also like transparent, so that's good. So anyways, I can export these as images, import them as sprites to Scratch, and use them for Dialog. Here is my progress with the Dialog system. I have all the letters and stuff imported, and I can use them. And here is code that uses them. I also imported typewriter sounds, so it can have like this effect where you have sound while it's typing. So I'm gonna show what it looks like. I think it looks pretty cool. So I got this really funny idea, which is that you can play this game as normal, right? And then at some point you're going to win, and once you win and you want to play it again, you will get this every time. And you can't get around it. Well, of course you can edit the code, but without it you can't just play the game. I think this is like top tier art. So what I'm doing is I'm actually storing your username in the cloud variable, and it's a global variable, so it's shared between all users, which sucks. Because once another user completes the game, you will be able to play it again. But I think just like in the moment, there will only be one player playing it at the same time. So when they get their name added here, that's just like means they can't play until somebody else finishes it. And yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. So I only have about 2 hours left until the end of the jam, so I don't think I'll be able to add the second part of the game I wanted to. So I guess I'll just take the time to add the dialogue and ending and polish stuff up. There is less than an hour until the end of the jam, and I'm going to have to work quite fast to finish it. But anyways, meanwhile, I drew a few pictures. I'm not a good artist, so they don't look very good, but I think they look good enough for this project. So this will just be parts of the dialogue and the ending thing and so on. I need to draw one more picture of like both Rainbow Dash and Rarity. But anyways, I also made this thing, which looks really cool in dialogues, so let's see how it looks like. So here you start. I need to add sound effects here for when you press a space, because I don't have them right now. So at this point, I think I have like 20 minutes remaining or something, so I am very tight when it comes to the time. But at the same time, my game is like almost done, so I'm not too worried. So I just gotta sketch this scene and then add some a few more dialogues, and after that it's pretty much just playtesting, I guess. It should be done. I really like this, how this dash actually came out. Doesn't fit the scene that well, but anyways, I gotta finish it, so my time is about to be up soon and the game is finished, I think, so I'm just gonna try playing it. There goes my alarm, so that means my time for development is over. Oh, I can hear it. There we go. And now if you press this, it will just restart. Oh, I love this so much. In SGaP songs, it usually ends very abruptly. So I try to achieve the same effect here. You just like, you're about to read what it says, and then it just says this, and you don't understand what it is at first, but when you try to play the game again, you can't. I don't actually want people to not be able to play the game anymore, but I just want them to feel the effect of not being able to play anymore, if that makes any sense. Okay, but I don't think I can... Yeah, I'll put this here, reset everything. And this is it. This is my project. So... before I publish it, I just want to save a copy to my PC, but... otherwise, it's done. So yeah, that's cool.